Good afternoon, happy learning. Today we are going to discuss about what is static, dynamic, and causal systems. Okay, so in general, CT and DT systems are classified as six types. See here, it is static, dynamic, causal, non-causal, linear, non-linear, time invariant and time variant systems, stable and unstable systems, invertible and non-invertible systems, we can say. So now let us discuss about static and dynamic systems and causal and non-causal systems. So now let us see about static system. Static system can also called as system without memory. A system without memory is called as static system, and the system with memory we called it as dynamic systems. I hope you understand now. So static system is a system without memory. Dynamic system is a system with memory. See, for example here, y of t is equivalent to x of t minus 3. So to this question, just we are substituting t is equal to 0. So if you substitute t is equal to 0, y of t becomes y of 0 is equivalent to x of minus 3. So here we are representing with respect to time. So here output time depends upon the previous input. X of minus 3 is previous input, we can say. So here if a system depends only on the present input, we call the system as static system, and if the system depends on the previous inputs and all, that is a past values, we call that as dynamic system. So in this question, the question is given as y of t is equivalent to x of t minus 3. Here if we substitute t is equal to 0, so the value becomes y of 0 is equivalent to x of minus 3. X of minus 3 is nothing but the previous, so past one. So the output depends on the previous input time. So the system we are calling it as dynamic system. I hope you can understand now. See next question, y of t is equivalent to x squared of t. Here only with respect to time we are speaking. So here if t is equal to 0, y of 0 value will, we are substituting t is equal to 0 in this question. So y of 0 will be equivalent to x squared of 0. So you leave that square values and all. Okay, here y of 0 depends on x of 0. So the output depends on only on the present input, we can say. So the system we are calling it a static system. I hope you understand now. We have discussed now about static and dynamic. Okay, whatever the question is given, instead of t or instead of n values, you just substitute 0, 1, 2, 3 like that, and find out the input what you are getting for the corresponding output. So with the help of that, we can able to analyze the system and say either it is static or dynamic. Static is nothing but the system which depends only on the present input, we call it a static. If the system depends on the previous or past values, we called it as dynamic. I hope you understand now. Next is about causal and non-causal systems. So causal system is nothing but the output depends on the present and past inputs. If any system's output depends on the present and past inputs, we call the system as causal system. And in the case of causal system, it does not depend on the future values, future inputs and all, it won't depend, only depending upon the present input and past input, it will be giving the output, it won't depend on the future inputs. Okay, that system is called as causal system. For non-causal system, the output depends on the future inputs, so the system is said to be non-causal. So for example, if in the question comes n plus 1, see the example, y of n is equivalent to x of n plus x of n plus 1. Here x of n is present value, n plus 1, if that is the future value. Okay, and one more thing here, x of 2 minus t, like this if term comes, this also called, we can say that these are the future values, we can say. So if any of the system's output depends on the future inputs, so that system we call it as non-causal. So causal is nothing but the any of the system's output depends on the present and past inputs, so that system we call it as causal. It won't depend on future inputs, but if any system depends on the future inputs, we call it as non-causal systems. See the example, y of t is equivalent to x of t into x of t minus 1. So in this we are substituting t is equal to 0. So y of 0 is equivalent to x of 0 into x of, here instead of t is equal to 0, if you substitute, the value will become as x of minus 1. So here x of minus 1 is nothing but the past value, x of 0 is nothing but the present value. So the output depends on the present and past inputs. So we call the system as causal system. I hope you understand in this question. Next one is about, see the question, y of n is equivalent to x of 2n. So here also it is a discrete system. Here we are substituting n is equivalent to 0. So y of 0 is equivalent to x of, instead of n we are substituting 2 into 0, it is 0. So y of 0 is equal to x of 0. Again if you substitute and see n is equivalent to 1. See here y of 1 is equivalent to x of 2 into 1, 2. So here the output depends on the future input. X of 2, y of 1 is present. Presently we are giving the input as 1. It depends on the future value x of 2. So if any of the system depends upon the future input, we call the system as a non-causal system. I hope you understand. Thank you.
She is lying.